And now for something completely different.
But yeah, that's it. Days of Future Past, the movie I've seen the most in theaters. I saw it 3 times.
Wow.
I saw it once with my friend Alex, once with my other friend Alex, and once with my dad.
And once with your dad, Alex.
That's what I should have said. In this instant, you were funnier than I.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's a high honor.
All right, you're number 6, I think, or you're number 5.
My number 5. The Lion King.
Okay. Hell yeah, I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
It's not on my list, but
Not gonna explain the plot.
no.
New one's coming
seen,
out.
Have you seen Hamlet? It's Hamlet, but with lions. That's not a joke. That's literally, that movie is the plot of Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even. It's my favorite childhood movie. I'm gonna say it. I said it. There it is. Not the
Yeah,
last.
I mean-
Not the last kids movie on my list though, which is interesting.
Okay. When I was a kid, Lion King was my favorite movie. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was. Just it.
if I needed to be consoled, if I was like crying for like a food or a nap or something, just put on Lion King.
Yeah.
I'll shut up for a good hour, 25
More
minutes.
so than any Star Wars movie. More so than any movie I've ever seen. I think I've seen The Lion King the most of any movie I've ever seen
Any
in my
movie.
life.
Interesting. Unfortunately, that honorific for me goes to High School Musical.
Oh well,
Because
that's
I watched
unfortunate.
it 17 times when I was in middle school. So I've probably seen it about 22 times.
Jeez.
That
That number didn't stop after middle school.
No, it didn't. Megan liked that movie a lot too. That movie's not on my list, so let's not talk about it. So I mean, I'm gonna assume that everyone's seen Lion King.
Yeah.
The new one's almost upon us. Are you excited? Have you seen the Jungle Book movie? Because it's being
I did see the Jungle
directed-
Book movie.
It's being directed by the same dude,
Yeah.
Jon Favreau, the guy who did Iron Man.
Yeah. Forehead of security for Iron Man.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good
mean,
reference.
yeah, that was a real
That was an
like
Iron Man
fifth
deep
layer.
cut,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
That's a-
people don't like that movie. You're referencing Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
which is the one no one likes. Anyways, no, I mean, like, what do you?
No, I'm excited. They pulled the right move and got as much of the original cast as they thought
Well,
necessary.
didn't they just get Mufasa?
Yeah, that's as much of the original
Oh,
cast as
okay.
they thought necessary.
I see.
No, actually, I do think they got a few other people.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can't name or list them because they might not exist, but I feel like there's more than just him from the original cast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna give it a look. I doubt it's gonna top the original for me, but that's
Well, yeah.
a very biased opinion.
And here's the thing with like the Disney never made an official announcement, but like, hey, we're remaking all our movies in live action. Like,
Yeah,
some of them are real bad, but a couple of them are really, really good, like Beauty and the Beast
I
and
think
Jungle
they
Book.
know they can't screw this one up.
Yeah, well, that's what the feeling I got with Beauty and the Beast. I saw the trailer for Beauty and the Beast, which, like the Lion King trailer, was a shot-for-shot remake of the Beauty and the Beast trailer, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be good. This movie's gonna be good, and they're not gonna fuck it up." And then they didn't, so that was cool.
Good.
I feel bad for Emma Watson though. They auto-tuned the shit out.
Oh
of her,
yeah, you were
and, like,
telling me that.
Nobody else.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's there. We all know what it is.
Number
It made
5.
the list. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I genuinely
No,
thought you were
that was
done.
my
okay.
point. There's nothing more to say about it.
No, it seemed like I was rushing you along. I was not. I
No,
legitimately
I know you
thought
weren't.
were done. My number 5, Star Wars
Ooh.
Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
That is my number 4.
Nice. That's my number 5.
Interesting.
You start since when you brought up Infinity War, I started.
Sure. I mean, they did a fantastic job. Here's the thing: they had such an uphill battle for that film,
Oh fuck yeah!
and
Like a 19-year-long uphill battle.
yeah, and the very bottom of that pit, starting in let's say, I don't know, 1999. Kinda is the worst part. They just had a lot of crap they had to get through to make this film happen. I don't care what you say about it now. We all loved that movie when it came out,
Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and I don't.
Wait, are people shit-talking Force Awakens?
They're shit talking every Star Wars movie that comes out
Okay,
now.
well, grow
and
up.
Right. That's my point. If they cared about your opinion at all, if they thought you were an amazing filmmaker, they'd hire you to make the next one, but they didn't. So
Right.
just take what you get.
Here's the moment I knew that Star Wars Episode 7 was going to be a good movie was when they announced that J.J. Abrams was going to be directing it.
Yeah.
Not because J.J. Abrams is an amazing and prolific director, because he is, but
He loves those movies.
it's because he loves Star Wars. He loves Star Wars so much. I'm pretty sure he made 3 Star Trek movies just to have like, hey, do you want me to make Star Wars like this?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, no, as soon as they were like, J.J. Abrams is going to do it, I was like, I almost said a bad word. That's a dude who likes Star Wars. He's going to do a great job.
And just the way they introduced the old cast throughout the movie.
Yeah, it was very, like, tastefully woven
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
you know?
Biggest cliffhanger of all of cinematic history. Boom, I said it. Said it.
Whoa,
Done.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. What
Biggest
name
cliffhanger?
the end of that
Infinity
movie?
War.
Okay.
I
To me it's a little rivaled, but okay.
No, I mean, here's the thing, to its credit, it would be less of an impactful cliffhanger if he said anything.
Right.
But he didn't, so it was a really good cliffhanger. Because that's what we all wanted.
Yeah.
Because Mark Hamill, like, great guy, never met him, but, like, great guy, amazing dude, is kind of ugly now. And
Wow.
Luke Skywalker was, like, very handsome. And we were all, like, I feel like that was it. We were all waiting, like, what's he going to look like?
Yeah.
And he looked great. He still played Luke great, but we didn't get to see that for 2 more years.
Do you know how hard he worked out?
Oh, I
for
know.
that movie?
No,
And they didn't tell him how long he was going to be in the movie till like
No,
they got ready
yeah.
to film.
Yeah, no, you showed me that thing. I
Yeah.
forget what he's doing. It looks like he's doing like a stand-up routine, but he was like
I think
reading
he's
the
just
whole
giving a
thing.
talk. He's just talking about making
Yeah,
the
no,
movie.
I remember he said that he thought that when
Yes, and I think that would have been fantastic. I'm going to let you say it. I was also going to bring this up.
when Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting in the forest,
Yeah.
he goes to pick up the lightsaber with the
Using
Force.
the Force, and she does the
She's
same.
behind him. It
Yeah.
flies to her. Mark Hamill thought that was going to be Luke.
Yeah, that would be insane.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also, we'd start a conversation of, well, why was he on Starkiller Base?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, that's the one thing with Star Wars is it's like, but why this? And they're like, 'cause Force, shut up.
Yeah. Also, not something that I feel like is usually brought up when Force Awakens is brought up, but something to this movie's credit that I always appreciated. Star Wars are films for people of all ages. Kids love these movies.
Yeah.
Adults love these movies.
So they say.
What do you mean?
Well, they always crap on them.
Oh, no, but you know.
As a big Star Wars fan, I know what the fandom is like, and it's very negative.
Toxic.
It's very toxic. That's
Yeah.
the word I'm looking for right now. It wasn't always.
Yeah.
It definitely started with the prequels, but we're definitely past that. You can't just complain about every movie that comes out just to complain
Yeah.
about it. It's
Um,
too much of the same. It's too different. You killed my
Yeah.
favorite character. Well, grow up.
Didn't finish the point I was going to make.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I know it sounded like I did. All the new characters have easy to pronounce one syllable names. Finn, Poe, Rey, even
Luke,
like
Sky, Walker.
Luke, Han, Chewie, like they
Yeah.
all like it just continue Ren,
Yeah.
They all have easy to pronounce one syllable
Supreme
names
Leader
or Snoke
No,
or
I know.
names that can be cut down to be one
Right.
syllable and you still know who they're talking about.
Same as the original trilogy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I really appreciate that movie, and I appreciate J.J. Abrams for what he did to that movie.
And I gotta say, I'm gonna be honest. Here's the issue with the toxicity of the fandom. I felt bullied into not putting The Last Jedi on this list. Last Jedi, in my heart, should have made it on this list.
But
It didn't because I felt like people were gonna make fun
I
of
mean,
me.
here's all I'm going to say about The Last Jedi. It's a great movie.
Fantastic.
It didn't make my list, but, like, it's a good movie.
In my heart, it made mine.
I really do like that movie. So that was my number 5. What's yours?
I mean, I already said my number 5.
Did you? Oh, what's your number 4.
Force Awakens. Back to you.
My number 4, and I think this is the first one that you're going to be like, what? That's not number 1? My number 4 is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I don't know if I'd think that was number 1, but I knew it'd make the list.
I love that movie. I don't have to say that.
I
'cause
know you
that's
do.
what our list is about. Scott Pilgrim is a comic book.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it's not written like a comic book. It's written more like a manga, but it's a comic book. And it's 7 arcs. They put all of the arcs into one film. They do it perfectly. They got the living embodiment of Michael Cera of Scott Pilgrim to play Scott Pilgrim. His name's Michael Cera. There's like, I say this all the time as like a joke because it's obviously not a video game movie. Scott Pilgrim is the best video game movie. There's there's so much there's so many not just references to video games, but like things that only that happen that only make sense if you consider the fact that maybe Scott Pilgrim takes place inside a video game. You know what I mean? Like he literally dies and uses a 1-up at one point.
Right.
So like beyond all the references, which are obviously cool, I always got the impression that Scott Pilgrim takes place in a video game, especially because it's set up like a video game. He has 7 people he has to defeat, then the final boss. There's literally a final boss in this movie. But beyond that, it's a movie about music. It's a movie about a local band trying to get their way in the world, and they do it kind of by like fighting crime and turning bad guys into coins that they use to pay for shows.
Yeah.
It's just, but the whole time the main character is struggling with, he's dating a girl that's way cooler than him. I don't know. I also, this movie's like, besides my number 1, like the movie I quote the most. Like,
not your number 1.
What do you mean?
Didn't make number 1 on your list.
No, I'm saying besides my number 1.
Oh, I
Scott
see.
Pilgrim is the movie I quote the most.
Yeah, you definitely do quote Scott Pilgrim a lot. That makes me wonder what your number 1 is.
Yeah. I swear to God, my number 1, I could recite the whole script for you right now. But no, yeah, I mean, I don't have many things prolific to say about Scott Pilgrim because it's not a prolific movie. It's kind of like, it's kind of like Pacific Rim. It's not a movie I go to usually, it's not a movie I usually go to feel emotions and get attached to characters, even though the characters are really great. It's a movie I go to see all the jokes and the funny stuff, but also the cool stylized video game comic booky action. Also, one of the bad guys he has to fight is Chris Evans, who plays Captain America. That guy's awesome. What's your number 4?
Number 3.
Number 3? Oh, your number 4 was Force Awakens.
Yeah.
What's your number 3? Oh, my number 3 is Infinity War. So you do your 3 and then your 2.
Okay. My number 3 is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a good movie.
Not on your list?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Lord of the Rings didn't make it onto my list. I love superhero movies so too much, man.
All right. I mean, where do I begin besides the biggest fight scene ever in a movie?
Yeah. The Battle of Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That fight scene goes on for quite some time, and then they start it over, and then it goes on for another half hour.
And then they're like, "We got to clean this up quick. Ghost Army, finish him off." And then you think that's a cop out, and then you're watching it, and you're like, "Ah, it's still pretty cool."
Yeah. No, it's my favorite Lord of the Rings character is from that film, the Witch King of Angmar, the ring wraith with the spiky crown.
Oh yeah.
That is. I know they don't have a.
He's
speaking
somewhere
line.
in this room, isn't he?
No, he's not.
Oh.
I know he doesn't have a speaking line, and he's kind of just a villain of an enemy for them to fight. But
no, he does have a speaking line.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Cool.
he says something along the lines of "No man can defeat me," and she's
right,
like, "I'm
right,
no
of
man."
course, because that's when Miranda Orr, her character,
Miranda Cosgrove.
Miranda Cosgrove. No, the woman, Eomer.
Yeah,
She's like, I'm no man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't read the books, so
I don't think anyone living has. They're so
That's
long.
not true. I know plenty of people who have.
No, you don't.
Wow. Okay. I definitely do, but that's fine. When when Frodo's throwing the ring in the fire, I was like, well, that's it, Gollum. What are you gonna do? Oh, bite his finger off. I guess you could do that. And then Frodo, like, they never bring that back up. He's missing a digit now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can live
No, absolutely.
a pretty fulfilling life with only missing one finger.
Yeah.
You know that you said you never read the books. I never have either, obviously, but I've done a lot of like research. Did
Yeah.
you know that movie, the book has like 3 more chapters?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's like they go back to the Shire, and it's
No, I know.
it's under attack
Yeah.
by Saruman the White,
Mm-hmm.
who dies in the beginning of Return of the King, but not in the book.
And not on camera. And that bothered
He
me
dies
as
on
a kid.
camera?
In the
Oh, in the
extended
extended
versions.
version.
I
I've been
know.
ruined by the extended
I know.
version. Yeah.
I've seen all the extended cuts,
He
but
doesn't
as a
die on
kid,
camera
he
in the
doesn't die.
theatrical
You never get a
version?
conclusion to his story in the theatrical version,
That
which is just a
sucks.
bad. It was a 5-minute part of the movie. You couldn't throw that in.
Right.
That was gonna be-
yeah, of all the scenes they cut.
Yeah.
Damn.
That one really bothered me, and I
Yeah.
didn't see that till I was like 18, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, they show it.
I know this is obviously something that they would never do, but just for people like that, like you just described, sake, I wish on the bottom of the screen it would flash this is an extended scene,
Yeah.
just so I could know.
And it's funny too, because as a kid, I just thought I was stupid. I was like, wait, I'm missing a guy.
Especially as a kid when you're less perceptive. And
That's
you're
my
like, I
point.
guess I just
Yeah.
forgot about.
Yeah, or
him
wasn't paying
something.
attention. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, I missed him. He's gone now.
Yeah, yeah. That movie's gone full circle for me. When I was a kid, I watched the first one and then the second one, and I was like, those are pretty good. And then I watched the third one, and it put me to sleep. I was really bored by it.
Interesting.
The older I got, I was like, this movie's great.
Oh, yeah.
Recently, to these movies' credits, I say recently, it was probably like a year and a half ago. I was having a boring night, and I was like, I want to watch Lord of the Rings. So I popped in the first one.
First one puts me to sleep now as an adult, and I love the first one. I think I'm just very comfortable with that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I put in the first one. I was like, man, I just want to watch The Fellowship of the Rings. So I put it in, and I watched it, and fully intending to just stop there and like not watch the other two. But,
Okay.
I had seen it a couple times at that point, but I was just like, man, these are so
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
good. And then the next 2 nights, I watched the other
Yeah.
two,
Oh, you have to.
and I was like, even it being like my 5th or 6th watch through of all 3 of these movies, I was like I started The Fellowship at like 9 and ended around midnight. Same thing with the 2 Towers. But like I finished all the stuff I had to do early in the day so I could watch Return of the King. Like I was like, I just gotta see him now.
I don't know why this made me think of this. I think you know this. I don't think I've ever talked about this on the air. I love the board game Risk.
Oh yeah,
I play double, sometimes triple board Risk games by myself
yeah.
in my
it's-
room.
It's gonna sound like I'm insulting you for a second, but I'm not.
That's fine.
When you say I play Risk by myself, you as a human being, your immediate thought is, what a loser. And
Yeah,
then
no, that's fine.
when you really think about it, it's like, holy shit, like that's really cool. He like I made the joke a couple years ago, maybe one of the first things I ever said to you, but I'm imagining like the scene whenever you see I play Risk by myself, the scene I imagine is the room is dark, you're lying on your bed with your eyes wide open, and the scene is like silent for like 30 seconds, and then you stand up, turn your light on, move one piece on the board, turn the light back off, lay back down.
And you remember what, I don't know if you're setting me up here, but you know what I said to you, right?
No, I don't.
I'll sit in my bed with the flashlight on my phone staring at the board thinking of my next move for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but that's tomorrow morning. Just do it right then.
I'm tired. I'm tired and I've been laying on the ground all day playing Risk on the floor in my room.
Oh, yeah, your room's rather tiny. You'd have to play that on your bed or on the floor.
And you can't play it on your bed.
Right.
Because the second you pick that up to go to sleep, all the pieces are missing.
Right.
Also, I don't know if I've explained this enough. 2 to 3 boards
Oh, yeah.
at once. One of which, my point in bringing it up,
Is Middle Earth.
and I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Risk board. I think, I think
Yeah.
I can make that statement.
You've talked about your disappointment in Star Wars Risk boards. 'Cause they
Yeah.
always like go break the mold or whatever. But let's not talk about Risk anymore.
That's fine.
Your number 2,
Okay.
because my number 3 was Infibbed War.
Okay. My number 2. This is ready for the shocker.
Yes.
A Goofy movie.
Whoa! Whoa! I genuinely did not expect
I knew you
that.
would.
We have never talked about
Yeah.
Goof Troop at all.
Didn't say a Goofy movie.
No, but I mean like a Goofy movie's based off Goof Troop,
Yeah.
the TV show.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
There was one movie, and it's funny because I know I make fun of you a lot about this. If there was one movie that would probably make me cry in life, it's probably a Goofy movie.
Dude, that movie, like, I feel like when you're a kid, you don't cry at movies, especially kids' movies, because all kids' movies back in the day were like Disney-ass, like, but Mulan, I'm crying over Mulan in this scene. So you were just like, this is a kid's movie. Even as a kid, every time Goofy movie, I cried. The waterfall scene, right?
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, when he's
The
there's
scene where Goofy falls down the waterfall and he does the like magic fishing trick that he teaches him and he saves his life.
Yeah.
That makes me cry every time.
I just every single thing about that movie, every scene. There's also a Twilight
you're-
scene in the woods with that movie
You're setting
with
me
Bigfoot.
You're setting me up perfectly for something that I love to do.
Oh, okay. It's all fantastic. I'm trying to still set you up. You might as well say it.
What?
I'm setting you up for something. I don't know.
Oh no! Keep going.
Oh, I don't know. It's all fantastic. Great cast.
I have to get off mic for a sec. Keep talking.
Oh God. I don't know what more I can say about. Oh please. Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna die, Anthony. Shut the window. Oh, I'm gonna die though, Anthony. That's it. I love a Goofy movie.
Oh no.
Oh, we unplugged the microphone. What are you doing?
Is
I
that
mean,
okay?
it's gonna pop.
Okay, that's fine. I'll edit that out. If you listen to each other's heart and find we're never too far apart, and maybe love is the reason why, for the first time ever we're seeing things eye to eye.
Okay, you shut the window to do that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a ton of people listening to you do that on YouTube now.
I know, but not the people outside.
No, definitely not. None of them.
The people outside don't have to listen to me sing it.
We have to listen to their nonsense all the time.
Yeah, but you know, they have guns.
Good point.
My number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Wow, that climbed the list, huh?
Yeah, this is the reason why I had so much trouble picking the order. It was just where does Spider-Verse go?
Okay.
Because it's above Infinity War. That was the
Yeah, that's insane.
That was the thing in my head. I was like, which one is number 2? Which one is number 3? Is it Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or is it Infinity War? So, in preparation for this podcast, since it's come out on Blu-ray, I've watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 3 times. I can confidently say I like it more than Infinity War. Against all odds, Sony was like, fuck, shit, okay, fuck. We need to make another Spider-Man movie. How about this time we do it animated and we make Miles Morales the main character? I guess, just do it. And then this is my opinion, of course, but like, it's the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen.
Wow. I can't agree with you there, but okay.
It's just like, if you told me they're making a Spider-Geddon movie, like the plot line where they bring in a bunch of Spider-Men and they all do their own thing, I would be like, that's gonna fail. And then it didn't. They did this with it, and it's great. Like, everybody they cast to voice people is perfect. Like, they got like a bunch of people who have like never done something like this or like never been in a movie. John Mulaney's never been in a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like Nicolas Cage, like, this is usually something he would say no to.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
I
I think he's just gone full circle insane where if we asked him to come on the podcast, he might show up. I'm just saying this right now. That was not an invitation, Nicolas Cage. Please stay
no,
home.
Kevin Smith, if you want to come
Yeah,
on the
if you want to come on,
podcast,
come
go
right on,
for
dude.
it. But
We're excited.
Nicolas Cage, stay away. No, it's just.
I mean, if
that's
he
a-
wants to come on, he can come on.
That's
But I wasn't specifically calling him out to come hang out.
That's another thing. Like, I know I talk about Penny Parker a lot and how I love her. Her theme song is my ringtone. But like, I hate Nicolas Cage as an actor. I always have. He's hands down the best part of that
Oh
film.
yeah, you did a fantastic job.
It's just like, it's one of the movies, like, this happens with some things, not just movies, like sometimes some songs and stuff, where I cry a lot. I'm not ashamed of this.
I know.
It's not a secret. This is one of those movies where, like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is in no way a sad movie, but it always makes me cry.
I mean, there's a pretty sad scene in that movie.
Right. But, like, I'm talking about, like, the last 10 minutes makes me cry just because I love the movie so much.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's the perfect blend of, like, meaningful, impactful story and characters versus it's time for a joke / reference to something. And it can't go without saying, I'm sure we've talked about it before, maybe the best Stan Lee cameo that I've ever seen. Maybe.
Oh yeah,
It's
up there.
they somehow made him say, like, the saddest shit I've ever heard, which sounds like they convinced Stan Lee that he was going to die, and he knew that he was going to die recording that line, but there's no way he could have known.
I can't wait to see his Endgame.
I sang the song from the Goofy movie, by the way. I don't know if I even said that, or if that was clear. The song I sang was from the Goofy movie.
If they don't know, they don't deserve to know.
Okay, I'll cut this part out. I didn't. No, it's really good. Like, all these characters that don't deserve to be in a movie just solely based on, like, how long ago they were created, like Spider-Gwen and Porky Pig. That's not his name. Peter Porker. I just, like, there's just a bunch of characters.
I'd like to think it's Porky Pig under there.
No, I don't know. Do you have anything to say about Spider-Verse?
I don't know. I mean, it was good. I don't think I've jumped on the bandwagon quite as much as you have, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
It's just like I want to see what's next so bad. Like, it definitely won't be for a while because those movies are, like, that's the other thing. That movie's beautiful. It's like the best, like, the most well animated movie I've ever seen. Maybe
It's right there.
It's right there. Yeah,
it's
I
in
just
it's
bought
in
it.
this room
it's in the. I just bought that and haven't put it on a shelf pile.
on top of the N64.
Yeah, you did your number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time for Chris's number 1.
I want you to guess it.
I mean, is it Star Wars Episode 4? I mean 5. 6. You like 6.
Yeah, 6.
Star Wars
It is
Episode
it is
6.
Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
I nailed it.
Yes. I
Sort
mean,
of.
you knew it was going to be
I-
my favorite Star Wars
I
movie.
did not mean to say 4. I did
Or
say,
5.
I did say 5, but I was like, wait, which one is he? Oh, he likes 6. Yeah. So I'm curious to see, like, obviously this is your favorite Star Wars movie, and
Yeah.
you are now admitting it is your favorite movie of all time. But I'm curious as to why, before we talk about Return of the Jedi, I'm curious as to why the other 2 aren't on the list whatsoever.
Honestly, I mean, if you wanted me to make... That's what I'm saying. It's going to change day to day.
Yeah.
I wanted to diversify the list. To be honest, we're doing a show. We're trying to give people...
Yeah.
This is a very... what's the word I'm looking for? It's an arbitrary... I think that's the right word for it. List of just movies I really enjoy, but I really wanted to give a broad spectrum
Okay,
of
yeah,
movies I
yeah.
enjoy. Because, I mean, if you wanted me to, there's 9 Star Wars movies. 9? There might be 10 at this point.
I mean, there's
I could have
like
made the list all of them if you wanted.
There's like 11 if you count Rogue One and Han Solo movie.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10
There's
and-
10 with those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, plus the
Plus the new one coming
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
So I could have made the list all of them, but like, how much fun was that gonna be?
Right.
So I mean, I put my favorite one, and I put quite possibly my second favorite one. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
You know?
No, because I noticed you put and I purposely didn't tell you be diverse because I wanted you to be honest about your favorite movies.
And I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like anything else. I'm not going to survive. Like, I'm not just going to watch Star Wars movies the rest of my life.
Right, yeah,
These are my
yeah.
favorite movies. I love the Star Wars series.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's definitely more Star Wars movies where you are like, yeah, but do you like Lion King more than Episode 5? And it's like, well, as an adult, I'd probably watch Episode 5 more, but Lion King has a special place in my heart
Right, yeah,
throughout my
yeah.
life.
Okay, so talk about Return of the Jedi. Why
All
do you
right.
like it so much?
Um,
Why is it your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, God. Because of the Twilight Forest scenes on Endor. No.
And that's it. Good night, everybody.
I'm not even going to do yours.
Yeah, whatever. My number one movie was a Pokemon thing, probably. I'm a big nerd. Yours? It's not.
I mean, it
Listening.
was an epic conclusion to what was quite possibly which will probably be quite possibly the favorite story of my lifetime.
Fictional.
Fictional.
Story? Yeah.
It gave an amazing ending, and as a kid, like, I hear there's people when Luke's fighting Vader,
Mm-hmm.
or when he's refusing to fight
Yeah,
Vader
yeah,
on the
yeah,
Death
yeah.
Star. A lot of people think that him refusing to fight Vader is his moment of weakness in vulnerability.
Okay.
It's not. It's when he fights Vader and chooses to take him down.
Right.
That's his moment of weakness. I got that instantly as a kid, and it was very emotional to me. I guess adults still don't quite understand the concept
Yeah,
of that.
see, as
scene.
a kid, going back to what I was saying about Return of the King, I didn't appreciate these movies as much just because I was a dumb kid. Like, as a kid, if you asked me what my favorite Star Wars movie was, I would have 100% said Revenge of the Sith because it's the one with the most eye candy.
Yeah, no, and there was probably a point in my life. There was definitely, I'm not going to lie, there was a point in my life where Star Wars definitely dropped off a little bit for me.
Oh, yeah.
Few years in my life.
Like, Star Wars is your favorite thing. My favorite thing is Pokemon. I skipped a couple games because I was just like, man, I'm an adult now. Pokemon's
Right.
lame. But it's not. I love
As
Pokemon.
a kid, yeah, I probably would have been like, well, that one with General Grievous. That was spot on, younger Chris.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Wow. I mean, it's whenever I think of Star Wars, and I think, oh man, I'd love to be there, or oh man, this scene, or oh man, this, it's almost always Return of the Jedi I'm thinking of. I have Endor socks nobody ever sees because I always usually wear jeans, and it's literally the aesthetic I
The
love.
Twilight thing? Yeah.
It's that time of night. You get to see the tree line in the satellite dish that's pointing up at the Death Star, and the Death Star at the very top.
It seems like Episode 9 is going to
Possibly come back to Endor.
have a lot of, well, not just that. I was just going to say, like, have a lot of themes and storylines come up from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. It probably will. It's going to bring everything full circle, and that's what Return of the Jedi did before they made these sequels.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi completed the story, and it completed it very well. Luke's my favorite fictional character, and I think up until The Last Jedi, I think I can solely say it was because of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You see him become complete. You see him become a man. Everybody's
And-
like, you like Luke? He was so whiny for the first two movies. I was like, yeah, but he wasn't for the one where it mattered.
Right. And to their credit, obviously, I already talked about how one of my favorite movies of all time is Force Awakens, the one where they continue the story from this movie.
Yeah.
But to the credit of, I guess, George Lucas and the other writers, back when that was it for, I'll just say Leia. Speaking about Leia, Han, and Luke, when that was it for their character, I was okay with that. If I
Yeah.
never saw the continuation of those stories' character, I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. They did a great job closing the book on Star Wars.
In Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, just to get personal for a second, Luke Skywalker was my hero growing up. He still is. I love Mark Hamill. He's my number one person to meet. If you were to ask me, like, Comic-Con list, who's your number one person? It's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I love that man. I kind of owe who I am a little bit to that man's character.
Damn.
You're kind of the same, but you know how a lot of my wardrobe is black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because of Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie kind of played a role with me. It was amazing. Also, I could go on. I loved this was like the first time I saw a lightsaber that wasn't blue or red.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah.
that freaked me out.
Yeah.
I watched these movies
All of
chronologically.
us, right? Like the first time anyone had seen a
oh yeah,
green lightsaber?
yeah, yeah. It was
As
yeah.
far as we were concerned, that was a new invention that he made.
Yeah, yeah. The Jabba Palace. That movie has essentially 3 scenes: Jabba's palace, Endor, Death Star.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
each one is memorable, start to finish. Every single aspect of it, and
Yeah.
it's entertaining to me every step of the way. I know a lot of people like 5. I like 5
I
too.
like 5. It's not my favorite Star Wars film, but like it's my favorite of the first 3 for sure.
Yeah, I get it. To me though, it just doesn't quite hit the spot Return of the Jedi does for me.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that it doesn't have a happy ending. It's just
No,
it,
in a story. If
I feel
Infinity
like
War has shown
third
us
act
anything,
it's
it
kind of
doesn't-
slow. To be
Sorry,
honest.
do you want? I was talking. You want to repeat what you said?
Oh, I just said to me, episode 5, third act gets a little slow, get a
Yeah.
little bored.
Especially
I don't
'cause
get that in Return of the
Yeah.
Jedi.
I mean, if Infinity War has shown us anything, a movie doesn't have to have a happy ending to be entertaining.
No, not at all.
Especially if you know there's more coming. You know?
Right.
I
mean, you see the conclusion of Yoda,
Yeah. Yeah.
a character you didn't think you'd care about.
Right. Yeah.
It's everything. It's just a movie that comes full circle and it does it very well.
Do you want to guess my number 1? You made me guess yours, and I fucking nailed it. I think you know.
I'm
I think
afraid.
if
I
you-
don't think I do.
I think if you think about it for a second, let me real quick. I've already brought up Spider-Man, Infinity War, and Scott Pilgrim, and the Ninja Turtles movie, and Lucario. What is my favorite film of all time?
Oh God! Don't get mad at me, Anthony.
I won't get mad at you. I think you're gonna get mad at you.
I already am. I have no clue. I'm gonna take a bad
Nothing.
shot in the
I
dark.
started.
Oh my God! It's Clue.
That's why I laughed, because you're like, I have no clue.
Clue's number 1.
Yeah.
Why did you rattle off all these superhero movies? And then you were like, "But guess number 1."
What do you mean? Why did?
You mentioned all the superhero movies you had on the list.
Yeah. I have a lot of superhero movies. I have 3.
Oh, okay.
I have 4.
To me, it sounded like you were trying to goat me into finding another superhero
Oh, no.
movie you like. And then you were like, "That's right, Clue."
Civil War, X-Men, Infinity War, and Spider-Man are all superhero movies.
Before you get into it, I just want to say, and I feel pretty bad about this on both our parts, no Harry Potter. And I'm a little upset.
I mean,
To me, like, you ask me tomorrow, it probably would have made the list. Like, that's what I'm
Which one?
saying. A Prisoner of Azkaban.
really?
Yeah.
I like 4 the most.
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah. That's my favorite book and my favorite film.
See, I like that one a lot. Got overplayed. Every time I see a Harry Potter movie on TV, it's that one. And I'm just sick of
Because
it.
people know it's the best one.
Sure, I'm just sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad. I got.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
8 is also really good too, but I've only seen that one once. Clue.
Yeah, sorry.
For those of you who don't know, there was a board game called Clue.
Yes.
It was a board game it was a grid-based board game where you move your piece around the board, and you had a deck of cards consisting of...
You think Clue's that, like,
Clue is from, like, the 30s.
the 70s, but...
No, the 1830s. Come on.
No, but I mean, I played Clue as a kid. You think people really don't know Clue? I just played Clue a month ago with my family.
Allow me to... I agree with you. People know what Clue is. Allow me to explain the entire premise of the board game Clue before I get into the movie.
Okay, I'm going to go on Facebook for a second. I know the premise of Clue.
Yeah, sure. It is a grid-based board game where you move your piece around the board, and you're in a house. There are rooms, and you have a deck of cards. Your cards consist of people cards, location cards, and weapon cards. And basically what you do is, by process of elimination, using the game board, convince your friends to show you their cards so you can whittle down who did the murder, in what room, with what weapon. And they turned that bullshit into a movie.
Yes, they did.
And it's my favorite one of all the other movies. It, like, more so than any other movie I've ever talked about, this movie was set up to fail. And in some regards, it did fail.
in some regards, it did some evolutionary stuff no other movie's really ever done since.
Oh yeah. Mainly speaking, if I can talk about the end of the movie
Exactly.
first, there was 3 endings to this movie because they wanted to what's the term? They wanted
They wanted it to be like the board game.
They wanted it to
much as they
to
could.
emulate
There
the
you go, there it
feeling
is.
that the board game would give you, where it's going to be different every time. You and I could play 6 games of Clue. No 2 games that we play after one another are going to have the same exact outcome. So to emulate that, there was 3 endings to this movie. When you went to go see the movie in theaters, which I did not, because this movie I think came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
You got a random one.
Yep.
So when you go to school or go home to your book club and you're like, oh, wasn't it weird how it ended like this? And they're like, are you fucking insane? It ended like this. And in the DVD release, there's 2 options.
Yep.
You can get a random one,
Yep.
or you can get you can watch all 3 of them with like little like, here, that's how it could have ended, but this is how it really ended. That's a through line of all the Blu-ray releases of this film, that they all give you that
Yeah.
option.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Sorry, you finish what you were saying because you were gonna say something.
No. Ask me.
So, and let me finish before you answer.
Okay.
Tim Burton was at Comic-Con 2 years ago.
Tim Burton?
Tim Curry.
Tim
Sorry.
Curry.
Tim
Oh,
Curry
yes,
was
yes,
at Comic-Con.
Yes,
Tim
yes.
Burton was at Comic-Con. Jesus. Tim Curry, I'm going to put this in quotations, was at Comic-Con
Yeah.
a few years ago. Because this is my sister's favorite movie too.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Ooh.
You two have never talked about that.
No, we haven't.
And for a birthday present, I was going to have him sign it for her.
Okay.
Obviously, as you know, which we found out when we got there was some weirdies behind the curtain. We'll email it to you.
Chris and I are convinced he wasn't really there.
Yeah,
The man had recently. Sorry.
a few
has he
years ago
passed-
he had a stroke.
has he
No, he's
passed
still
away?
alive.
Oh, no, okay.
He's still alive.
A few years ago, he had a stroke right around the time that we were gonna meet him.
I think so. Either that or he's had it for a while, and
We
He
get
just
the
didn't-
feeling that he was
he didn't want to be seen.
just embarrassed.
But
you
then
know?
don't-
Who can
but-
blame him?
Then don't do these.
Right.
Because
right.
part of the experience for me was I get to watch him sign this for my sister.
Yeah.
Who do I know? His manager could have signed it for all
Yeah.
I know. I paid $60 to not see Tim Curry sign
Right.
this for my sister.
Right.
And I felt bad because I was like, well, now I can't get that for her.
So-
but, like,
What question were you gonna ask me?
you had no intent on seeing Tim Curry, and I thought that was interesting.
It's because I was short on money.
Okay.
I really wanted to meet the Pink Power Ranger and
That's fair.
and
That's
Timmy
fair.
Turner.
We all got to make the decisions.
Yeah.
There's so many people there. I was
I-
just curious because, like I just said, Mark Hamill, I will give the shirt off my back to see Mark Hamill. I just didn't know if you felt the same way or if you didn't realize he was going to be there or what the case was. No, we all got to make the tough choice.
It was look at me. It was either the butler from Clue or the fucking Pink Power Ranger.
No, all right. No, I know how you work. That's fine. That's fair.
I know how you work. Yeah. Here's the thing, and this is a similarity that Clue shares with Infinity War. This movie had an ensemble cast of about 12
Yeah.
people. Each actor brings it. Each
Oh,
actor
yeah.
like it feels like, and I know they didn't because they're just little tiny colored pieces, but it feels like each character did extensive research on how their characters would act.
Yeah. Which
Not
is
that they
really
did.
interesting because all they could go off is how they look on
The
you know
cards.
on the cards and the information the director's giving them.
Right.
So they have to really there's no source to find this character really.
Yeah.
They just had to make it up.
So Clue is how can I put this? Clue is depending on how you look at it, for all intents and purposes, it's a heist movie. Basically. They're
Sure, a botched one.
right. Oh yeah, of course, a botched one, but it's all these people come to this house and they are given fake names. And basically they find out that they're all getting blackmailed by the same dude. This dude, trying to be cool, gives them all the weapons from the board game. And he shuts the lights off and he's like, do whatever you want in the dark. He gets killed. And then the whole movie is like, who killed him? Well, she's dead now too. Who killed him? Her.
Who
and
killed him? Her.
the more the movie progresses and the more ancillary characters die, because none of the characters with a name die. None of the like Mrs. Peacock,
Yeah.
Mr. Green, none of those characters die. It's like the maid, the cook, all that stuff. The more you find out that all these characters are linked together. Like
Yep.
this character drove this character in the war, and this character was having this character's a prostitute, and this one was with him, and he didn't want that find out. So like not only are they all being blackmailed, they're all being blackmailed pretty much like for the same reason. Like, well, you're being blackmailed because of what I did, but and it just like also it's very funny.
Yeah.
The movie does not take itself seriously, to its credit, and Tim Curry plays a very stoic, like, no, I'm the butler. Why are all the murders happening? We are like, please listen to me. I run the house. And then all of a sudden, at the end, when he's revealing everything that happened, he's Tim Curry.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. And I gotta say, with this movie, very niche genre.
Oh yeah,
mansion murder mystery.
yeah.
Love it every time it happens.
Oh my god.
Every single. I'm not saying just Clue. I'm saying there's so many. There hasn't been a ton, but every
Right.
time I see a spin-off and it's like, oh well, that was Clue influenced.
Right.
Love it.
Right.
Every time
right.
it happens.
Clue is the best movie of a genre that did not exist.
Yep.
when
No,
the movie came out.
absolutely. It still kind of doesn't.
It's sort of like you alluded to, like it's sort of like
It'd be great if it
you,
did.
Like you have to refer to the movie as like, what genre was that movie? It was a movie like Clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like here's the thing, like there's been other movies based off board games, like the Battleship movie, and those movies I've noticed really, really struggle to like, fuck, we gotta make a movie off a board game. Well, we don't have much to go on. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, you got to make a whole plot around it.
Clue, like, obviously they did that. They made a whole plot around Clue, the board game, but they also like took as much as they could from the board game. Like,
Yeah.
like there's one thing that this movie could reference, and it's two things: real world politics at the time, and because this movie takes place in the 60s but was released in the 80s.
40s.
Sorry,
30s
it takes
or
place in the
40s.
40s.
I think so. Maybe you're right.
I'm pretty sure it
Maybe
takes
you're
place
right.
in the
Okay.
60s. But it came out in the 80s. So the two things they have to reference is current political humor and Clue the board game. And it's like they're, as I said earlier, they're like so delicately woven in as to like, hey, I played the board game. I know what you just said.
Yeah.
You fucking nerd. Also, twist ending at the very last minute. My-
3 different ones.
No. The last second. My favorite twist in any movie. Mr. Green, he's timid. He's like, I don't know, guys. And he's gay. He's openly gay through the whole movie, which is weird for the 60s. Super weird for the 60s. A little weird for the 80s. And he was like, I'm a homosexual. I knew he was going to out me, so I outed myself. And the last scene in the movie, you find out that he was FBI the whole time. He was in on it. He was the only good guy, and he has a wife.
Yeah.
And he's
That's
not
only
gay.
one of the endings, though.
But that's the last one. That's the last scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, for that ending.
No, but that's the last ending. When you watch them all
Oh,
three in a
I didn't
row.
know there was an order.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It goes Miss Scarlet, then Miss Peacock, then the Mr. Green ending.
Which is also the Tim Curry done it.
Yes.
Ending, yeah.
So that it's literally like he literally says, "Take him away. I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife."
Yep.
Credits. Music.
Yeah. No, that one always got me. And I always, because again, when I first watched this movie as a dumb kid, I was like, I didn't pick up on the
Me
fact that he
either.
was gay.
Me
And then he
either.
says that, and I was like, all right, bro. Chill.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I was
Me
like, why don't
too. I
you
was
chill
like-
out for a second?
I was like, all right. And then I think the second time watching it, my mom was like, do you get it? And I was like, not really. She was like, he said earlier he was gay. And I was like, oh, shit. And then it turned into like, I don't do it anymore because I'm not a teenager anymore. But every time I would show that movie to someone, I'd be like, watch. Because I was like, I love it so much.
I love putting it on random, and I don't think I can I don't think you can actually figure this out, but I love putting it on random and seeing if I can tell which ending is going to pop up.
Oh, see, I've never watched it not with all three in the proper order, so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I always put it on random. And I
Oh,
always
okay.
try and figure out if there's some little something somewhere that tells me I'm getting this ending. I don't think there is.
Well, how does random work? Because the first ending, as I call it, the Scarlet Witch, the Miss Scarlet ending, is like in the movie. Like they don't do a cutaway. And then it ends, and then there's a cutaway, and it's like back 5 minutes, right? So how do they do it random?
Oh, dude, I don't remember. It all seems very natural. It
Okay,
all
cool,
flows every
cool,
time.
cool. Good for them.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you exactly where once, here's where they chopped the ending.
Yeah.
But it's always natural, and I can never tell which one's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love that movie. I feel like you and I are going to shut the mics off and have a conversation about the movies that we thought were going to make the list that totally didn't.
Probably.
But yeah.
I think we've been talking for like 2 hours now, and Game of Thrones is about to start in a little while.
Yeah, still don't know what we're going to do about that.
I
Yeah, no,
think
there
I have
was
an idea.
okay, cool. I can't wait to hear. No, when we were as we've been recording this, I've been like, this is going to get cut down. There's some stuff I'm going to get cut out, so I'm not quite sure how long it'll be, but it'll definitely be longer than an hour. So if you are still listening, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this. We had a fun conversation. We hope you had fun too. Please give us a like and a comment if you wouldn't mind.
And a subscribe.
And a subscription. We say this all the time, and I know a lot of YouTubers do. It really, truly helps, even though it seems like it doesn't. But yeah, enjoy whatever playthrough is happening the week this goes up, and have a great day. My name is Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
I'm sorry I sang the Goofy movie song.